I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind, but I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't...
Jimmy Kimmel returned to his late-night show on September 23, 2025, in an emotional and heartfelt comeback following a nearly week-long suspension over his controversial remarks about the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Greeted by a standing ovation from the live studio audience, Kimmel became visibly moved as he opened his monologue, clarifying that he never intended to make light of the tragedy or assign blame to any group. He emphasized the seriousness of the incident, expressing that he found nothing humorous about the situation and acknowledging the pain it caused, while also addressing the mix of support and criticism he had received during his absence.
I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind, but I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way.
Kimmel also directly addressed the president in his pressure campaign to get him pulled from the air, as well as the wider climate of censorship he sees taking hold in the country.
The president of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke. He's not stopping. And it's not just comedy. He's gunning for our journalists, too. He's suing them. He's bullying them. Over the weekend, his foxy friend Pete Hegseth announced a new policy that requires journalists with Pentagon press credentials to sign a pledge promising not to report information that hasn't been explicitly authorized for release. That includes unclassified information. They want to pick and choose what the news is. I know that's not as interesting as muzzling a comedian, but it's so important to have a free press, and it is nuts that we aren't paying more attention to it. Walter Cronkite must be spinning in his grave right now. He's dead, right? Yeah. Look, I never imagined I would be in a situation like this. I barely paid attention in school. But one thing I did learn from Lenny Bruce and George Carlin and Howard Stern is that a government threat to silence a comedian the president doesn't like is anti-American.
Jimmy Kimmel's return to his late-night show was marked by a mix of emotion, clarity, and reflection. He reiterated that he had expressed compassion to Charlie Kirk's family on the day of the shooting and stood by that message, while addressing claims that his remarks targeted Trump supporters, clarifying that this was never his intention. Kimmel condemned the violence that led to Kirk's death, emphasizing that the perpetrator did not represent any broader group. Using his monologue to defend free speech, he highlighted the importance of being able to host a show like his in a nation that values open expression, while expressing empathy for anyone hurt by his words. He also thanked fellow hosts, his audience, and critics who defended his right to speak, singling out Senator Ted Cruz and praising Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, for her public act of forgiveness. Overall, Kimmel's return combined emotional vulnerability with a firm stance on compassion, free expression, and respect for the tragedy.
Tomorrow I'll hear from no one. I did hear from one very special friend. Moments after we taped our show last night, the Mad Red Hatter wrote, "I can't believe ABC Fake News gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back." You can't believe they gave me my job back. I can't believe we gave you your job back. Or even. And there's more. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. No, they weren't. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. That I can't argue with. Shut the f*** up. The freedom of speech is only for me.